Hello, how are you doing? Are you all right? God, it's good to see you. A little bit of a different setup from me today. I've been recording audiobooks all day. I'm doing Hong Kong. Here it is. Here's the paperback version, and yeah. So I've been going through and recording the audiobook. So I have to get things set up a little bit differently with all these drapes and whatever. And I thought actually it was supposed to be the time to do beer and books, and I thought I'll jump on and show you what it's sort of like inside here. I haven't even got a beer today either. I'm actually on a brew, a cup of tea. It's a bit rude cup actually that my friend bought me. um, so yeah, I hope you're keeping really well. I wanted to make sure I did come on today because actually I've not done one of these solo conversations with you for such a long time. I've had someone else with me, and I've really enjoyed that. Actually, we had Stephen Taylor with me last week, and I've got someone again next week, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And I've really enjoyed having them. And I wanted a week this week just to sort of do one on my own because I used to do them every week, didn't I? Just me talking. So um, yeah, I thought this was a good week to do it. If you can hear me and everything's going okay, do just say hello to me in the comments so that I know that that's the case. I'm not here chatting to myself, talking on my own, which is fine too. I don't mind talking on my own. I've been doing that all day, in fact. I'm on about chapter 29, I think, or chapter 30. No, over 30 now of Hong Kong, and I'm enjoying it. It's good fun to go through these books and do the audio book. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it does take a long time. Audiobooks. This is one thing I wanted to talk to you about. Now, I'm working on Hong Kong at the moment. I did Ko Tao's audiobook last week, and I have Ian's in. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I hope you're well. I could be drinking tequila and bleach, but it wouldn't cut it this week. Both of those things are will serve a purpose. I wouldn't recommend them together. Hi, Sean. Thank you for dropping in. Great to see you. So yeah, I've done the Kotal audiobook last week, and that is up. And on some services, it comes straight through. Audible will take ages. So if you just listen to audiobooks on Audible, then it will take ages. So don't even worry for about 6 months, maybe not quite that long. But I will be giving away some versions of it via a different service at some point in the next week or so. So if you want to get one of those early, if you're an audiobook listener and haven't read Kotal or just are interested in doing that, then do drop me an email. Actually, I'll put my address on the screen so that you can. Here it is, so that you can drop me an email and say, give me one of these audiobook codes, and I'll help you download that because it really helps for me to get some early reviews into those audiobooks so people can see that people are doing that. So that one's out there. You can get it in various library systems and all those sorts of places, which is really, really good. It's great that it's there. So yeah, how's your week been? What have you been up to? And I wanted to thank those of you that made it into the party, the virtual house party on Saturday. It was really, really good fun. Did you make it there? I know Alison did. Hi, Alison. Thank you for joining me. Wicked to see you. Yeah, house party on Saturday. I think I played music for about 4 hours or 5 hours or something like that. It was a really good time. Lots of beer was drank, lots of lots of dancing. Hence why I haven't opened a beer today. But there we go. That's the way it goes. I'll wait till the weekend. I'll leave it till the weekend. Mm. So yeah, if you're interested in that audiobook, do let me know. Oh no, Ian says, well, not oh no. Ian says he's disappointed he missed the party, but it was his daughter's birthday. How old's your daughter now, Ian? I know she's a few years old, more than like one or two. But I can't remember exactly. But yeah, congratulations for that, I suppose. A good reason not to be there. Um, but no, it was really good fun. It was really good fun. I think we had about 25, 30 people listening at some point, which was absolutely mad, actually. I was really surprised and really enjoyed myself. Really enjoyed myself. Alison said that peck and rye went down really well. Were you listening right to the end, Alison? I think you were, weren't you, actually? Because my friend, my housemate, we all lived together, the three of us that were there, just so you know, for you know, if the police are watching, the COVID police, there were no laws broken. we're all in the same house. But he played after I did for about another hour. When I'd had enough, I'd done 4 hours of mixing and just needed to drink and dance, which is great. Ian says his daughter is 4, believe it or not. I know, that's crazy, mate. That really, really is crazy. Yeah. But yeah, mad. But it was really good fun. I do intend, I think I will do another one. I don't know exactly when, I'm not going to say, but it was really good fun. I don't imagine it will be for a few weeks, maybe a month. It's one of those things. Sunday was a bit of a write-off because we'd stayed up late, and then Monday I still wasn't massively productive either. So yeah. Do you know what, Alison? I took a selfie on the video whilst we were dancing around, and Alison messaged saying, "Let's see the picture." I think I might. Actually, the reason why I haven't is because it came out really blurry. That was why. It was all just sort of, I was hoping it'd be good, and then I'd send it out to my newsletter and share it all with you and say thanks for tuning in. But it didn't come out as well as I'd thought, which was a disappointment. But there you go. So yeah, deep into audiobooks this week. It's quite a strange sensation to sort of stand in a room, or this room, and talk to yourself for hours. And I've got it down to now. I've got it down to now that 1 hour of audiobook time is about 2 hours 15 minutes of actual time, which I think is about normal. Having spoken to other audiobook narrators, I think it takes about that length of time, because you're stopping, going over bits again. Every time you need to take a sip of water, you're having a breath, just pausing it. So I think it does. I think that's quite normal, but it is a slow process. It'll be worth doing though. I'm really enjoying it. As you know, Kathmandu's got its audiobook already. I'm going to talk about Kathmandu in a minute. Kathmandu's got its audiobook already. Koh Tao is out on some platforms, and I've got some free codes for that. If anyone's interested, you can email me, the address is on the screen, or just let me know in the comments actually, and we'll have a conversation from there. And I'm working on Hong Kong at the moment. I'm hoping that'll be done in a week or so, and I'll put it straight out as soon as I can. It'll be up and with people who prefer to listen and read. I can imagine, Ian, you with a 4-year-old, you don't get a lot of time to sit in a chair and read books. Maybe an audiobook could suit you a little bit more if you're driving around or doing whatever you need to do in those times when you can't actually be reading. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. It's been a good week. Also, Kathmandu is still free. Still free on all platforms. I think I've got a link for that. Where is it? Maybe I didn't put it on here. Let's have a look. Kathmandu is still free on all platforms, which, there it is going to be for very long. I will do this probably once a year. Give away this novel probably once a year. Thank you so much if you've shared it, if you have recommended it, if you've helped me in some way get this novel out to new people. I said in my email last week, I talked about this actually, because some people sort of have the mindset that you shouldn't give away, and I'm interested in what you think. Let me know in the comments what you think. Some people sort of go with the mindset that you shouldn't give away that book because you spent a long time working on it, it's quite valuable to you, and it sort of trains people. There's an argument that it trains people not to pay for these things. Now, whilst I see that, and I think that's a valid argument, I don't agree with it. And I don't agree with it because asking someone to read my first book, a book that they've never heard of before, if they've never heard of me before, you guys know me, so it's different, is quite a big ask, isn't it? It's saying, lend me 6 hours of your time and see if you like it. And that's a big ask. I know everyone's busy. We've got loads of stuff to do. So I think if I can give that book to someone and encourage them. And if they like that, then they buy the rest of the series. For me, that is an absolute fair trade. But I'm not going to give it away for free the whole time. It will be free for very, very short amounts of time. It's been free for about a week and a half, 10 days or so already. And I am absolutely blown away by the number of people that have downloaded it. And I'll tell you now, Alison's just said she's read my email. I put it in my newsletter, which I sent out about 20 minutes ago. I've had, I don't know exactly, but I know it is over 20,000 people have downloaded that book. That's absolutely bonkers, isn't it? 20,000 people. It's 20,000 times it's downloaded. Now, I'm totally realistic in that I know a certain number of times that'll just sit on their e-reader and never get looked at, because you see a free book, don't you, and you get it and then you forget all about it and it stays there forever. I realise that, so it won't get read by 20,000 people. And I also realise there'll be some people who open it and don't like it. But for that amount of people who open it and like it and think it's a good story and it means something to them, that's important to me. It's not just in terms of making a couple of quid when they buy the next one and so on and so forth. It means something to them and it takes them somewhere and they enjoy it. That is amazing, and I'm so pleased by the way that's gone. Actually, I really am. That it's incredible, and it's had another 400 or 500 downloads today as we speak. It's hard to tell because of the way different reporting goes, and I know that's a bit of a, some sites report immediately, others take a little bit longer, some time zones and all that sort of thing. It's hard to say exactly how, and some of them mix it up, so you can't tell whether it's Kathmandu they've downloaded or whether they've paid for one of the others exactly. Or you probably can if you're a more analytical, statistical person than I am, but as many people know, that's not one of my strengths. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I'm really excited by that. The idea that people will go on and read that and enjoy it and go on and buy the next one, hopefully, and just get introduced to my writing, and moreover just enjoy. I went to Kathmandu 5 years ago, 2015, so 6 years ago this summer, and it inspired me to write that book. I had a really nice holiday traveling across. In fact, I will talk about this, and I'll come back to that. I had a really nice holiday traveling across India into Nepal, ending up in Kathmandu. And I'd already had the sort of idea, I'd already had the sort of story of the restaurant. That was already going around in my mind. And I've talked about this before. That was already going around in my mind. But I didn't have the character of Leo yet. And I didn't have the idea of him arriving there and being nervous about this crazy place that he's visited. And I didn't know who Alyssa was and all these sorts of things. And over the intervening years and writing it, those things sort of came together. But yeah. So if I can take a few people with me on that journey, it's made it absolutely 100% worthwhile. So a few more days for that. I can't say exactly when it ends for various logistical reasons. Website, stores don't always, they take some time. So if I say, right, take it back to its normal price, do this. And sometimes they turn it back to its normal price and then turn it back free again and then turn it. It's never as straightforward as you think it is because it's on lots of different places. So I can't say exactly when, but at the weekend I will start switching it back to normal price. So if you know anyone who'd like it or anyone to recommend it to, winner. That's your time to do that. Alison says, I believe that it's a fantastic idea as it brings in new readers to an author that they may not have read before. That's what I think. I mean, you read a lot, Alison, so you're probably of the opinion actually that if it was £2 or £3, you might go for it anyway because you're always, you're used to that. But someone else who isn't, doesn't read quite so much. It's a bit more of a risk, isn't it? And I think that's really important to do that. Yeah. So we will see. It's currently, let me have a look on my other screen. Sorry to just look at something whilst you're here, but I wanted to get this right. On amazon.co.uk, it's quite high up the ratings. It is currently 12th in all of the free books on amazon.co.uk. And I think it's even higher on Amazon.com. Let me have a look quickly. Amazon.com. Kathmandu Luke. Here we go. It's currently 28th on the whole free Kindle store. So number 1 in 3 separate categories, and that's just because of the number of people that have downloaded it, and that's incredible. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's really exciting. It's really exciting to do, and I'm really hoping, as I say, that means that people work on through the series. So in terms of writing at the moment, I have talks about the next novel in the series. Riga is what I'm hoping. It's what I'm thinking it'll be. I haven't put pen to paper on it yet. I am really excited to write the story. I've got a great story. The story's fantastic, but I'm waiting to really. I'm waiting to really want to write it. Do you know what I mean? I'm waiting to really feel like I cannot wait to write it. I'm sort of teasing myself with it. And I do realise, in a way, I know perhaps other authors would disagree with me on this. That might mean it's later than it normally would do. But I think I need to write it when I'm absolutely excited about that project and jumping into it and going and flying. Do you know what I mean? Because if I sort of forcing myself because I'm working on something else and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, it's never going to be quite as good as if I absolutely jump in. I'm never gonna hit it quite as well. So I'm waiting for that to happen, and I'm doing these audiobooks in the meantime, although I intend to do them anyway, so it makes no difference. But at some point in the next couple of weeks, I will be starting on that writing process. So it does mean when that next book will be out, I'm not sure. I reckon at some point before the summer. I wanted it to be April. That was in my mind in December when I launched New York. It was that it would be out in April. I think that's probably unlikely now, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I'm completely happy with that. I've got those books with Stephen Moore to come out at some point as well, whenever that happens. Again, I think time will tell. Steve Taylor says, hi. All right, mate. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me last week. How was your weekend? Alison says, that's not Alison. That's Stephen Taylor again. Alison says, how's the book going between you and Steve? The messages have just refreshed when I started pressing on them. Yeah, good. I've done my part. I've been working on it. It's been slow. It's not been slow. I spent the whole of January on that, and finished the bit that I've done, and Steve and I now need to sit down and work on that. So it's in the queue of projects, although I'm going to get to the Leo and Alyssa book first, and we'll see which one makes it out first. There was a message from Alison. There it is. I had an email from BookBub to say Kathmandu was free. I assume that was on Monday, Alison. I think BookBub emailed on Monday, which was when loads of people downloaded it. So yeah, I think that was it was really, really, really good. Really, really good. Ian Bond says, will you be doing a sequel to your podcast guide of uni buildings? That was the most in joke ever. Bond and I, because we did the student radio station at Nottingham Trent when we were both students of journalism there, we got approached by, I don't even know what the department was, but they wanted like an audio guide to the campus. So they had me and Bond. We walked around the uni with like this little tape recorder. I think it was actually a tape recorder. And we were just talking all the way, with the idea being that when new students arrived, they could like download. I don't think it is even an app. I don't know how it was administered. This was back in like 2005 or something, you know. This idea that these two nutters were there talking about, oh, this is the Arkwright building. This was built in 1837. So-and-so taught here. You know. Do you know what, Bond? I never heard what happened to that tape. I bet it's in some archive somewhere, and long shall it stay there. So yeah, Alison, how's the book going between you and Steve? Getting there, yeah, working on it. It's coming forwards. We're going to get them all ready and they'll be released quite quickly. There'll be 3 books. They're brilliant. They're absolutely fantastic. We've written the first drafts of all 3, and they're proper page turner thrillers. You know, like you'll really love them, Alison. You'll probably read them all in an afternoon, knowing you. So yeah. But as for release date, it just depends on other work schedules. Like we always put. We've both got so many different projects on that it's always interesting to see when they get to when we actually get to them, and how that goes. So next week I've got another guy on Beer and Books with me, so I'll be back to normal. A guy called Ty Hutchinson, who's a fantastic thriller author, and is a fantastic thriller author. Hi Joe, how you doing? How you doing, mate? Join us on YouTube. Good to see. Yeah, Ty Hutchinson, fantastic thriller author. If you get a chance, look up some of his books in the interim. T.Y. Hutchinson. His first name's spelled T.Y. He is based out of Thailand. American man, though. I don't know where he's from in the States, actually. He'll no doubt tell us next. Mate, I think it might be New York. I might be wrong. But I met him at the book fair last year, London Book Fair last year. And yeah, he writes sort of really, really fast-paced thrillers. Great books. I'm really looking forward to having conversation, some beer and books with him next week. It will be midnight in Thailand. Well, it's midnight in Thailand now, but when we're talking next week, it'll be midnight in Thailand as he talks. I said to him, I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind if we made it an hour or so earlier, you know, so he doesn't have to stay up till midnight. He was like, no, it's fine. Don't mind. I said, okay, that would be great. So yeah, that would be great. It would be good fun to have that conversation with him. And I've been trying to sort of work them a week or so ahead. So I'll let you know what will be happening the week after next week, if and when we get there. So a couple of the main things I've talked about today that I want to remind you of just before I go. If you haven't read Kathmandu, that is the book. There's the cover. Here it is. The first of my Leo and Alyssa novels. It is free still for just a few more days. At the weekend, I'm going to start changing them back to the normal price. It can take a few days after that for the system to catch up through all the various stores, but at the weekend is when I'll start changing that. So to be sure you get it, there you go. Thank you so much. A real heartfelt thank you to real heartfelt thanks to you if you've helped me in some way, if you've read it already, if you've left a review for it, if you've shared it. I really do appreciate that. It's been downloaded over 20,000 times, which is absolutely insane. Madness. And I love the idea that it's out there now. 20,000 people reading through it, hopefully enjoying the story, buying the next one, etc., etc. In fact, maybe someone listening now who's listening to this will be one of the people that has read it. I don't imagine they'd be listening to it live unless they read very well. You know, people do read quickly. They might have done. Got through to the back, found my website link and gone up from there. So yeah, we'll see. It's possible. If you are, there you go. Thank you for tuning in. So yeah, that's there for just another week. So if you're interested, that's one of your, you know, if you're interested and you've not read that book, please do that. It won't be free again for a while. It probably will be free again at some point, but it will be quite a long while, a good few months at least. Oh, Steve Taylor, how's Sport of Kings coming on? I've just seen your link here. Sport of Kings, there it is, from last week. How are you getting on this week with the writing and all of that? Thanks, Joe. Joe says Thai people are quite chilled, and good luck, man. Appreciate that, dude. I hope you're well. And what was the other thing I was telling you about? The audio book. That was it. So Kotao's audio book. Here it is. Here's the actual book, not the audio book. Kotao's audio book has been finished last week, narrated by me. Hence why I'm in this slightly different setup, because that's what I've been doing today. I've been doing Hong Kong's, if you've only just joined me. About halfway through, I'm enjoying it. I'm done for the day today, though. I think 3 or 4 hours standing talking to yourself is enough. So that's me done on that one for today. But Kotao's was done last week, slightly shorter. So I thought I'd start with the short book. Oh, excuse me. I thought I'd start with the shorter book and work up from there. So well, that's why it takes so long, these audiobooks, because of all the coughing and, rubbing my nose and having drinking tea and all those sorts of things. If I didn't have to do any of that, it'd be much quicker. If you're interested in getting a free copy of the audiobook for that, I have some available, and I will put this in my newsletter, but I haven't yet. I will do this probably next week or the week after. I thought I'd just let you guys who tune in on the Facebook Live have first refusal. There's the link to do that, if that's something that interests you. Steve Taylor says on Sport of Kings, editing and then more editing and then more editing. So you've reached the end of the story, though. That for me is a bit of a like ta-da moment. When I get to the end of the story and it's like, now what? What's next? Well, then it's the editing. But to me, I think that's almost it's like a thing that you can actually work on, isn't it, when you've got all those words in the right order? Joe says, I always thought writers preferred hard liquor. I think some do. I'm a beer man myself, although at the virtual house party on Saturday, you may have seen me having some shots of rum as well, which was really good fun. I have been debating. I've got the video recording of the house party, and I think maybe it just needs to go in an archive, never to be seen again, because there's some incredible dance moves that could only be described as incredible. And I'm reassured by the fact that if you were listening at midnight or 10 or 11 or whatever, you were probably in the mood as well. But to listen to that in the to watch that in the cold hard light of day, I think could be a little bit embarrassing. We'll see. Stephen has got to the end of Sport of Kings. Brilliant, mate. Well done. That's really, really, really good news. Big achievement. So definitely a beer for you tonight, or a sausage, as Alison says. Sausage for you tonight, Stephen. Alison, have you read any of Steve's books yet? Actually, because I reckon you like my books and Steve Moore's books and a few other people who are similar. I reckon Stephen Taylor would be one of your someone you'd quite like, or someone who's writing you'd quite like. Right. I am going to get going. I've 27 minutes just standing here talking, add into the other 4 hours I've spent here standing talking today. It just goes. Oh, Stephen Taylor's having a curry tonight. Decent. Lovely. Right. Thank you so much for tuning in to a bit of an informal books and beer from me today. Bit of a solo one. Oh, Tom Wyatt's just jumped in. Hello, mate. I'm just wrapping up, but I'll say hello to you quickly. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. If you want in the audiobook, Kotao, a few free copies of it are available, but it's also available in most audio stores, but not Audible yet. At some stage it will be. If you use an audio, in fact, I'm interested to sort of just quickly, if you're an audiobook listener, let me know where you listen, because I've got a couple of audiobook stores that I use, and I'm interested to see which ones people sort of listen to audiobooks on, because there's lots of different ones. A lot of people think it's just one or two, but there's actually dozens and dozens you can get. Joe says that Hemingway liked to drink. You are not wrong there at all, Joe. Okay. That one, audiobooks, Kotao, Kathmandu's free. One more thing. Ty Hutchinson on the show next week. T.Y. Hutchinson. Do have a look. Alison, have you read any Ty Hutchinson? Again, I think he'd be right up your street. Oh, Tom White says he's recently signed up to Audible. Well, you can get my book Kathmandu on Audible if you haven't done so yet. Yeah. You will be able to get Kotao on Audible. But I will also be doing, and I'll let you know this, Tom, because you're a friend of mine. I wouldn't let, and anyone listens to this, you're all friends of mine. I will be doing a box set of all three books. Kathmandu, well, not all three books. Kathmandu, Hong Kong and Berlin. I will be doing a box set audiobook of all three, so that if you're on Audible and you get your credit, you can have 3 books for the 1 credit. The slight trick of that being that the 4th book won't be in there. So you'll either have to pay for another one if you want the fourth book, or read it. So it's, it's me giving a little bit to you to get you involved in the series, thinking that a bit later down in the line that you'll want to buy the other one. So it's being honest. I'm not being deceitful at all with that. But I do think also, actually, if you're just buying, my books are 6 hours, and sometimes people are if you get one Audible credit a month, or it's 10 quid or whatever, you'd be thinking, I'll go for it, I'll wait for the box set. That seems like a lot more value to you. So that's something I will be doing in a little while. So if that's something you're interested in, Tom, with your Audible credit, hold on to that. Keep it ready. It'll be a while. Audible take a long time to put to get stuff through their system. They're quite a slow store. Right, I'm actually going to go. Thank you so. Oh, you've got Kathmandu already. Oh, fantastic, Tom. Brilliant. Right, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been fantastic to share this time with you. Do not forget that if you're watching this afterwards, I still read the comments both on YouTube and on Facebook. It's fantastic to see that. In fact, most people that listen to me rambling on do so after the event. I'm back next week with Ty Hutchinson. Do check him out in the meantime if you are interested. Have a great week, and I will see you very, very soon.